I like that garden. That was a nice garden.
It's going to be bloodied soon. I do want...
I don't know how you do your gardening.
I don't. I prefer not to have a garden. Oh, good luck coming out. I do want to say, though...
I thought the lawn and the lawn one.
It didn't, so I skipped. So we do see here, I do want to point out, while Tayo is on the bench, Depp is the player that I've looked at and also people have really spoken about. He is the hidden gem of this team, and if CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming really finds some success, I think it could be from Depp. In fact, I'm confident it will be from Depp.
And interesting to note, they're going to be going straight out the gate with a double sniper. Blank not going to match either side of that. This being Gardens is probably the one map where you're very happy to run a McCree. Failing that, it would potentially be Huss pulling out a Widowmaker. So CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming just going straight in with the dive, looking to get on top of Tongue, who is going to be fine just now. Both teams just, you know, love taps for the time being. Neither really getting the upper hand.
I think Blank and Huss may have been expecting Anakin to maybe run the fire here. He's going to be starting out on the Hanzo instead. Blank already taking so much space, but the DPS plays a lot.
Kura's really just doing work here, just kind of ducking in and out between members that desperately need the most healing. And it's still just this jostling for now. Neither team really catching anything, which is interesting. It means that with all this hit scan and headshot potential, no headshots until finally Samurai is the first casualty of this fight. Claire as well going down as Blank finally start getting the upper hand here. Depp just not quite getting the angles. Ken Mohororo out of the mech, and that's looking like it's going to be Blank getting control of this point.
Well, first bloods are gone to Samurai, right, and then Anakin was low that entire time as well. If you looked at his HP, he was on a sliver of health. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming did get some early presence on the cap. You did see the red bar kind of tick its way through, but it's Blank Esports finding the kill, so that's what's actually going to get you the cap. They get the cap indeed. Anakin now swapping on to the McCree. Very deadly for CKM. He could die to any of these players.
I'm really liking that, actually. This double long-range hit scan, like you said, CKM is very vulnerable. And Kura's had to spend so much time ducking between people. Already we're seeing an Anakin getting work done. This rocket barrage largely ineffective. Caught the mech and dropped Anakin, but he's going to trade his life for it. The rest of Blank is off by the base, licking their wounds. This is going to be CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming capping the point back in their own way.
They're cutting the head off the snake there as well, right? Because you see Huss going down so early. Yes, CKM came in with the barrage, picks up 2 kills. It's not quite enough. I'm surprised he even lived as long as he did against players like Anakin and Depp on those long-range hit scans. Now CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming in control. Finally got themselves a cap. Blank have a pretty decent lead here, but CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, with those 4 ultimates you'd expect, could match that and then overtake.
CKM, I'm liking the change up here. They're looking to just try and run circles around Anakin. That being said, that flashbang is so deadly for CKM, and again, the point remains that any one shot could just completely knock him down. Yeah, but there we go. That's a pretty nice way to start it off. Huss getting work done with that dead eye, and this is just Blank, you know, kind of playing can opener here, right? They've cracked it, and now they're just going to continue cranking it until it's completely open and get the juicy Campbell soup inside.
I guess I haven't had that in a while, but CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming here, they are starting to make some trades. Sabago's doing the work on the back line. By the way, Yoz is missing from this roster, so Sabago's got big shoes to fill, and currently still in control of this point.
Yeah, crucially, Ken Mohororo was able to reset the mech. Anakin respawning came straight in with a kill on Trill. And off the back of that, they've been able to stabilize Blank. Despite a good opening, actually never quite converted all those kills into a point grab.
I think the player that's surprisingly been a little bit quiet here, maybe unsurprisingly, is actually Depp, and he's still on the Widowmaker despite CKM already swapping off the fire. So for CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, they're maybe a little bit too keen to run this Widowmaker when it's not really a good map, and CKM punishes them straight away. By the way, Tracer's not even realistically one hero you'd expect CKM to be playing, but he's here anyway.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise, I think, to all of us, but that's a good way to get an upper hand. The res did come in. Now here's Anakin's turn to get a solid dead eye off. A little bit bare for targets, unfortunately, and he's just going to have to take a dive. CYCLOPS Athlete, they know that that fight is lost. Not going to commit anything else into it. 83% though, they're happy to just come back in at another point, knowing full well that Blank don't have many ultimates in their own right.
I think we're at the stage now where I would like to see Depp swap off. Anakin himself is going to go on to the Brigida now. I mean, there is a possibility that CKM is putting a lot of pressure here. Anakin maybe wanting to protect depth and the back line, but this seems a little too passive. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming was doing very well when Anakin was taking space, really pressuring as a McCree, and now this composition just looks a little bit too slow.
I mean, if it was that despite losing fights, Depp has been getting headshots, I could maybe get a little bit more behind this. As I say that though, Depp does get a headshot, so maybe this is what they need to just unlock him. Double Transcendence coming out here. Huss gonna have to get topped off here, looking for a good angle on a Deadeye. It's gonna be tough though. Oh, that is Claire way where he shouldn't be. Good trade back though, catch onto Tongue with the headshot, but CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming gonna have to flood onto this point. Samurai are gonna come in with a Primal Rage and a whip shot to take out Huss. Not bad. Savagod getting traded away. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming waiting on those respawns, still on the supports as they flood onto the point. Who can reset the mech here. Not going to be able to get back in it though. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming in the nick of time, regaining control of that point.
At the 11th hour as well, just as we were kind of saying, look, Depp's not doing too well here. He's not feeling too hot. Finds himself a couple of really good picks. Claire now dying repeatedly to Huss's Deadeye. It's not going to happen again because Huss has stopped playing the McCree. Got to go himself onto a soldier, and we'll see if we can find the angles here. The good news is no one can really dive onto Huss from the DPS side. He's got to be up with the tanks.
He's going to have to dodge headshots left and right, though, and there's still a ton of armor left over from Anakin's rally at the end of the last fight. The Blank have now only just managed to chew through as they're trying to engage, catching Samurai, though. That's why they wanted to run the soldier, also able to get the damage down through Anakin's shield. It has paid off. They're regaining control of the point now, 99 to 99. Very clutch call there. We don't see a lot of Soldier 76 these days, but absolutely what Blank needed to pick up the most impactful members of CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming there, and you saw how quick the overtime vanished. Blank gonna draw first blood.
It's a good adaptation because he's not too scared of being dove there. There's not too many divers. There's no Tracer. There's no Genji. Yes, there are a couple of tanks, but as long as Trill and Trill can, and who I guess can kind of shut them down, can kind of keep them locked down in there, Blank have the advantage. And Depp, I gotta say it again, just staying too long onto the Widowmaker. You were mentioning, look, Huss is gonna have to dodge headshots. Well, I mean,
he did.
He absolutely did do that, and apparently everyone in Blank was able to do that also because it just wasn't successful. This map, however, we are kind of expecting Forest to come out, and we can sort of see the metagaming here, the mind games. Both teams are expecting potentially a fire on the other side. Both teams are going to snipe instead.
I'll be watching.
Speed boost just to get everyone out the base a little bit quicker before Claire swaps over onto what they actually want to play, the Widowmaker. Sorry, the Mercy. Hey, yo! Speaking of dodging headshots, Huss finally failing. That Widowmaker getting some work done. Rez is going to come in on Huss, but that's given CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming enough time and space to get Depp a bit more set up. They're keeping the pressure now on the back line of Blank. Both running a double sniper, but it's CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming. I mean, ult charge notwithstanding, you can see they've got all the grounded positioning here. Now it's just about converting kills, getting control of the point.
They still got a Rez as well, whereas Blank do not, who will already demech. This is not a good start for Blank Esports whatsoever. Tongue under pressure. CKM does trade one back.
Dive onto Depp is going to pull Claire back onto him, but it leaves Trill in a bit too deep. Savagod there, unfortunate loss there. CKM, oh, Huss as well. All three of them finding their counterparts. That really swings this in favor of Blank, where it looked like CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming were just about to swing it completely in their favor, having closed out on Trill, having had Hulu out of the mech, but some clutch kills from the DPS is going to change that tune.
And the timing could not have been more perfect, right? Because as soon as Blank won, the point was opening up. They get that cap in there, starting to collect those percentage points now. And CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, for the second round of Oasis in a row, need to be playing for catch-up, except we're not in Gardens anymore. City Center, this point is so much harder to overturn. They are going to have to find a lot of kills, a lot of pressure, a lot of map control to get this away from Blank.
The dragon's eyes.
Toto, I don't think we're on Gardens anymore. I'm just waiting to see where exactly CKM chooses to throw this Dragon Strike, because there is an argument that he can just put it out preemptively, split people off.
CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming are taking far too long here, and you notice the percentage points going up for Blank. They don't mind waiting. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, they're the ones losing out.
I mean, this is what happens with double sniper, right? Some teams do still fall into this idea of just being slow and steady, and it's totally not paying off. They finally started getting into a position that they wanted to fight in. By the time they had, Depp's been killed by a headshot. Ken Mohororo's low, Samarida was low as well, and CYCLOPS Athlete Athlete Gaming, despite having a big ultimate advantage, just wasted too much of their own time there.
Far too much respect for Blank here. They actually have ultimate advantage. Finally find a kill onto Trill. Unfortunately, they almost got saved by Who, but not the case. Huss still finding kills onto Depp.
Wow.
Becoming a bit of a disaster for Depp after kind of hyping him up. He's not having a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is not the debut he was looking for. Samurai really getting work done with that ultimate before finally losing his life there. Very nicely done by him. It's given that CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming a lot of opportunity, and it should be this time is the fight that they can close out on. Not enough members of Blank left here in CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming. Getting control of the ground, they need to set these snipers up fast.
Somewhat surprised Trill didn't ult there. I think Blank Esports are a lot more invested into the next fight, but also at 87%. If Trill had ulted, we may be seeing Blank's control go up into the mid-90s, maybe even threatening into the overtime. Personally, I think that would have been worth it, but for Blank, they're going to choose to go into this next fight with the player down, unfortunately.
Yeah, taste for your own. Does get res though. That's the difference right here. Both times where Depp has gone down to Huss, no res. Both times Huss has gone down to Depp, resed almost instantly. But a catch on Trill, that's a bit of a different situation. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming.
No res for Trill.
Yeah, no res for him, exactly, because it was used on Huss, and Blank no better than to commit ultimates into a lost fight. Another one onto Huss. This is Depp finally starting to come alive a little bit. And CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming here can now open out a bit more time on the point and charge up those ultimates.
Now, I will say to Depp, and also Huss's kind of benefit here, the team that has been in control of the point, their Widowmaker has usually been doing better than the other Widowmaker in the head-to-head with the Widowmaker versus Widowmaker. So currently, Huss is on the attacking side, Depp is on the defending side, and the defensive Widows have been getting the edge over the others.
Once again, Trill going in on this wraparound. This time not going to stay in too long and lose his life like he has the last two times. But Huss, not going to be so lucky. The dive from the side of CYCLOPS Athlete, far more successful. Res does come in on Huss here, but by the time that's come in, I mean, it's still time in the bank here for CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming.
And now
they're able to raise their own sniper back into the fight. Yeah, Trill going big in on that ultimate now, but it's still Depp catching a headshot. Anakin splitting Blank apart with a nicely placed Dragon Strike, and it's still Blank, not quite on the front foot here, I should say. Hulu as well, nothing out of that self-destruct. And now suddenly it's CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming with the ult still in the pocket. That's a Transcendence to save everyone from the Dragon Strike. Trill now down. CYCLOPS Athlete looking like they're going to turn this fight back around altogether and tie up Oasis.
I gotta say, Blank, they decided to come in. They were starting to flood in as they were losing members. Trill just uses the primal raise. They understand, look, we're running out of time here. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming welcomes them with open arms and now welcome themselves to a potential map win. In fact, I believe this is going to be tying up the series in Oasis itself. 1-1. We're going to be going over to University, and tables turn so quickly. I said, whoever gets this point, it takes a lot of effort to get it off. And when CAG got it, look, they did not let go. As soon as Depp started to find his groove, Huss was nowhere to be found, constantly dying, does get res back up. Trill then goes down. Someone on Blank is dead. They finally engage, play at disadvantage, have to use ults, and CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming are like, well, we got enough ults to live.
I really like that play out of CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming as well, and feels like we've justified our hyping of Depp now, just about. Excuse me. I do want to point out one thing though, and I think this is actually important to note when we're seeing these Widow v Widow duels. We can talk about superstars as much as we like, right? But Blank have now been playing against Aputo for like a whole year just about, right? Like they know how to play against extremely good Widowmakers, and that Aputo's already the first of it, right? So it is very hard to challenge this team with just a Widowmaker. You've really got to have the whole package.
I think CKM is going to be swapping off her after this. Yeah. Does get res back in, but it's like Athlete Gaming was like
just
control.
Let me die.
Kind of, but also not really. Once these tanks on CAG really get the position, it's going to be hard to dive. Blank, if you're Trill, you're Huru. I'm not too sure if you want to jump in the middle of Samurai and Kimo Hororo right now.
I'm really liking the team clump out from CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming here as well. They've got that hit scan that can handle CKM. They've also got a flashbang in case anyone from Blank gets a little bit too deep on the dive, and they're building up for that grab Dragon Strike combo. And despite Depp going down to his counterpart, CYCLOPS Athlete get first control of the point. Blank looking to very quickly change that tune, but they haven't got an upper hand here. The Dragon Strike is out, it's been charged up that quickly, and it's just forced Blank back off the point. It's given CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming the time to properly regroup here, and now they're starting to get some kills in their way.
The cap did actually go over as well. CAG gonna let that one go. They had cap control. Blank just snuck it away. CAG now gonna lose a decent amount of percentage despite now winning this fight. That's gonna be good. Gonna charge up their ultimates, get their combos into action, but look, 22%. That could have been CAG's 22%. Blank had no right to take that, and they sneak it away. CAG gonna be kicking themselves.
It certainly could have been. I think, though, with how sort of tenuous that opening fight was indeed for both teams, CYCLOPS Athlete probably aren't too bitter about it. They recognize a bit of a missed opportunity, but they've got their ultimates, their crucial ultimates charged up. They're going to be coming up into an Earth Shatter. They've got a Deadeye. They've got a Transcendence. Will have, more crucially, the Grav Dragon Strike combo.
Almost. We gotta wait for Anakin to get his ult into play, and the other thing is watch what Tongue does. He's got the trance to counter, and that's
nice
gonna be
pass.
crucial.
Oh, onto Anakin. That's so heartbreaking for CYCLOPS. And Depp going down to CKM's Rocket Barrage.
Combo.
To use his own ultimate. Yeah, Anakin getting raised back in. The combo's going to be a big one. They've got the members on. Tongue with the Transcendence saved a couple, but not enough. And now the trade back from CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming. It looked like Blank got the drop on them. They had such a good start, but absolutely rallying there with CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming. Even now at the 11th hour, that Blank are starting to fight back and maybe looking to regain control of the point. CYCLOPS Athlete have forced all the ultimates out of Blank, and they're pushing up towards the 70-80% mark now.
We're at the stage where Claire could still ult here. Valkyrie could be game changing because we need to start seeing CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming out damage, out survive these Blank members.
Get out
And
of
it
here.
seems like Depp's doing a lot of work right now. Both DPS on Blank are down. This should be the end of their push.
That was phenomenal, just how back and forth that was. But CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming were always confident in that.
Kura.
Yeah, Kura not ideal there at all. I mean, it was never an ideal situation for CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, but they were always able to recover from whatever Blank threw at them. That's not something that can be said for a lot of teams.
And that's the thing, because CAG had the ultimates to play with, right? Blank couldn't get that lead despite losing Anakin early. Claire reses straight to the combo, gets a double kill. Now we're into potentially the last one. Huss already down. See you later.
Yeah, that's a kick in the teeth there for Huss, who has so far been able to get so many kills on Depp, the hidden superstar of this team. CKM just wasting time trying to kill Savagod there. Chill going down on the flyby. Anakin's just got his number. CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming gonna close out Oasis. Something that Sun Sister couldn't do. Something that Detonator Gold couldn't do. Liberland Supreme, Yoshimoto in count. Every Japanese team before them has failed to do what CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming just did in their Pacific debut.
And now you've just seen the alternate universe where Team Japan takes Oasis off of Team Australia. Wow, that's
It's been a long time.
that is a spicy universe, I gotta say. Yeah, you gotta feel good. I think, look, even if there is a world,
that right there was top 10 anime battles of all time.
even if there's a world right now with Blank come back 3-1, look, that's possible. Blank, the veteran team here versus CAG, who you gotta say are still the challengers, are still technically the underdogs. I think CAG can be proud of this performance so far. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but there is a real threat and a real fear. This could have been a 4-0 and a very convincing 4-0 in Blank's favor. And we're back to the old Japan where, well, I mean, another Japanese team, another loss. It's kind of just comes hand in hand, but already I don't think we're going to see, we're not going to see a whitewash here. I think even if Blank win 3-1, those other 3 maps are going to be close. In fact, I think we could go full distance. Blank is still a good team. They're going to bring it back, I'm sure. But CAG, they're not here to muck around. They're here to win.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, speaking of like coming back, I mean, the first one went the way of Blank there, and it was the subsequent 2 that went the way of CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming, each in more convincing fashion. First Gardens and then University. So I think in general, both teams really do have capacity to win here, and it's going to come down to those really crucial crunch time moments, like that fight we just had on University, where CYCLOPS Athlete just barely recovered after Anakin got dead-eyed outright at the top of the fight. I think that's going to be a common thread throughout all of this, but I agree with you there. I think regardless as to what happens here, we're even saying a loss, but a close loss would be great for this team. That's a win right there. Like we were saying, something that no other Japanese team before them has been able to do. And, I mean, personal satisfaction aside, it goes to show, right, what we have been saying now for nearly 2 whole years, right? It has never been the best Japanese team. This is what the best Japanese team looks like. This is what they're capable of. They are capable of challenging the titans of this region. This is why we are saying this is a team that can go the distance. If you didn't believe us before, there it is writ large.
And I'm scared right now because I want to get excited about this team. I want to get really excited about CAG coming into the season and also how they'll do, because again, 7 members here in that top 12 for World Cup. How Japan's going to do later this year at that World Cup. Next map coming up is Kings Row. And I'm scared because we're so early into the series. Second map now coming into play.
Yeah, you don't want to speak too soon.
Blank's map selection here, and that's why I had to preface this by saying like a blank 3-1 wouldn't be, you know, that would still, to be honest, be quite fine for CAG. Blank are a playoffs caliber team. They have always been a playoffs caliber team. They've not won a Pacific tournament, but they've come second, they've come third, and if CAG can really push Blank here, and maybe even potentially, I don't want to say maybe they could win, but it's lingering. It's so close. Maybe
I know you never want to say it.
CAG could win, but if they can, they're doing it against a playoffs caliber team. That means CAG, they are a true contender. They are like seriously one of the best teams here.
Yeah, they would be truly a Contenders Pacific Season 2. And you know, I really love it when they say the title of the movie in the movie. That's what that was. But in all seriousness, I mean, we're saying a lot about this. I want to kind of speak to the other side of this. This does not in any way, shape, or form dampen Blank's own capabilities. The other thing we also must remember, this is the first match of the season. First of all, this is not the best we're going to see out of either of these teams, but to kind of speak in Blank's defense here, again, results notwithstanding, whether it's a 3-1, whether they get 4-0'd, whether it's any other kind of result, win or loss, Blank are often a bit of a slow burn team. They often do have good showings out the gate, but they kind of hit a stride generally around the week 3 mark and just power their way into playoffs. That has always been the habit of Blank in tournaments of this length. So even a win here for Cyclops Athlete Gaming doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to suddenly go ahead and win Contenders, but it is still very important.
It would slow Blank down, right? But I agree with you. They're a slow burn team. If you look at the history of Blank, their opening match of any season has typically been their worst. You know, go back to OPC Season 1, they opened against Detonator Gold. That was probably one of Blank's, you know, slightly worse performances, even Season 1 Contenders. With one shine, look, that wasn't Blank's best, and right now Blank, they want to be bringing their best, especially coming into map number 2, try and even the score.
And, well, seeing a bit of the Orisa coming out here, and I'm really liking this out of Blank in general. Just the Orisa Hog, something they are very, very competent on, and a composition that they have a lot of flexibility in. I mean, we've seen Huss play Roadhog in the past. They can run this in all kinds of different incarnations, and I'm liking it with the double sniper here. Depp and Huss again having this head-to-head, and so far it has actually been Huss putting more pressure onto Depp.
And there's multiple combos you can do here as well. Trill getting the hold onto somebody, either who lands the hook, CKM gets a headshot, or Huss gets a headshot. There's a lot of kill potential coming out of Blank. They're already taking space, and CAG, they got to do something fast.
Oh, that is a nice grab on Ken Mohoroto, and that is how quick the damage comes out. They've already headshotted him as he flies out of that mech. Ultimate coming in from Anakin is going to have to be a real game changer. Depp's already getting pressured out here, and Blank just scattered to the 4 winds. Goes full Hunter Killer on Huss, does find his mark, but at what cost here, right? Cyclops Athlete Gaming have been sorely beaten back at this point, and Anakin really taking a risk here, getting into the thick of it.
I think a second tick here for Blank would be really bad for CAG, obviously, but mostly because even if Blank loses fight after getting 2 ticks, that would have been worth it. Currently now, CAG starting to push backwards. Trill and Kura are both down, but Blank, they're taking names as well. This has been a bloody fight.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that the risk paid off for a moment there for Cyclops Athlete Gaming, but this is where the closer respawn starts to work in Blank's favor. They've already been able to come back in. Who never actually died there and has been doing work this entire time. Trill, who did die, has respawned. Now here's a whole hog to flush out the last few members of Cyclops Athlete Gaming. And that's the risk of going to ground in that situation. Yep. You have to get a very complete team wipe in with enough time to reset to the high ground, or eventually the attacking side is going to do what Blank just did.
The other thing is Blank didn't fully reset there, right? Because CAG, despite getting some decent trades, were only trades. They never really finished the team fight. They never really forced Blank to fully reset, go back to spawn, try again. Because of that, you have members building up their ult steadily. Blank eventually get in there, push through with these ults that CAG didn't quite have. And now CAG, and I guess Blank as well, both now going on to new compositions as we head into streets.
Seeing a bit of a classic here, we've got on one side the shield comp with the, there we go, the Hanzo ultimate, the Dragon Strike for that combo with the grab, and on the other side, We've got it with the Junkrat, but unfortunately, Anakin's tie are going to get shot out by Husk. While on the other side, CKM got a lot more work done. This is a bit of a trade back, though, from CYCLOPS. Not done just yet. Kenma Hororo goes, nope, not done. Plenty of charge in the pocket, just ran right into the middle of it.
I think a lot of teams would have probably given up there, but CAG said, look, we can still come back in here. Samurai gets res back up. I was originally thinking this is probably a mistake. That's another 500 HP they're going to lose. He's going to get staggered again, but Blank kind of fall apart there, and the timing was so good for CAG. Blank had used the ultimates, they had used the combo, and CAG like, well, what do you got now? It's our turn to make the plays happen.
Yeah, CAG really saw an opportunity there, and that's the second time now we've seen them in that situation where it looks like they are just about to lose a fight. They find a way in, have the confidence to really go for it. This time, though, now lacking the Reinhardt, lacking that big shield, not going to have as much luck. They do trade one back, though, and that's what they're able to consistently do here. If nothing else, it's slowing Blank down.
Both teams have a Transcendence as well, and expect both of these to come out in the next fight. But first of all, Kenma Hororo does have that grab. Huru's still building his one right now. Not going to see a combo just yet. Anakin doesn't quite have a tire, but CIG getting pushed back. They need to make something happen. It feels like they're just waiting until they have the right pieces. But while they're waiting, Blank's pushing.
And it looks like they're wanting to go for a grab tire here. They've just got said tire, and Anakin finds a fish on Huss. Even though CKM is the Dragon Strike, I mean, for starters, he's dead. And I was going to say, they don't actually have the grab to combo it with Blank. They recognize that this is not a situation they can keep fighting, and they have to back off. That means this is more time lost while they're still waiting on the crucial components of any one of their potential combos.
Now we're getting to the stage now where Huru's getting very close to his grab, and once we're there, both teams could wipe the other one. Both teams might use their combos at the same time. Both Hurus, and Kenma Hororo's been playing great, so maybe. But both Zayas here could just grab each other here. You could see a dragon come through from one side, Riptide from the other, and that's maybe exactly what's happened.
Kenma Hororo first out. Didn't even need the Riptire after all was said and done. They just got a gong right off the back of that anyway. Blank, though, smart not to throw any ultimates into that. They went, you know what, we're going to let them use their ultimates. We're going to charge up our grab. Now they have the opportunity to, just as Cyclops Athlete wiped them, wipe Cyclops Athlete Gaming.
Difference is, there is a caveat here because Athlete Gaming, CAG have not used, first of all, the Earthshatter, but also double support ults here. Grav Dragon, it's good, but it may not damage through the Transcendence if Sabagod times well, if CKM is too slow, and if CAG can stop the tanks from Blank from progressing onto the Grav. That is key right now. They have to expect that Huru has a Grav, and they have to play accordingly.
And also, unlike Kenma Hororo's Grav just being, Huru was going into this with nowhere near as much charge.
Oh, counter shot!
Oh, counter! That is so massive! That means no Dragon Strike from CKM, and the combo that Blank just spent the last 2 minutes building up, not going to happen, completely whiffs, and Cyclops Athlete Gaming, like 3-ply toilet paper, are going to wipe Blank.
That was a genius play from Samurai. To look at his positioning once again. He was very pressed forward. Who's going to make a decision there, a hard choice? Do you just grab straight to Samurai? If you do, well, you just got yourself one Reinhardt. That's not a game-winning play. You got to grab behind him, but if you do that, well, he's going to walk forward, pass you, shatter your whole team, and now you lose your combo. Blank, this is disastrous. 30 seconds left. What do you got left? They got to use what they've got.
They just have to throw out the Dragon Strike as is. It does create a good amount of space. They got Sabagod very low there, forces the ultimate out of Claire, the Valkyrie, but here's some trades. Dep fighting another, finds two, can you believe it? Blank on the back foot. They still had ultimates they hadn't used in the previous fight, and they're not going to get a chance to use them. How many times? I mean, Ton has had that Transcendence now for nearly 3 minutes with no good opportunity to use it because the kills have just been so quick, so off kilter. Not going to get anywhere near that payload. Yeah, and just a style points kill onto Huss right at the very end with that Riptire. That was a Class A defense from Cyclops Athlete Gaming. I love how confident they are to take opportunities when they see them, and it stopped Blank up short.
Well, there's just so many moments, right? When you look at the CAG defense here, first of all, that was that opening fight onto the B point onto Streets. You expected Blank to win that one. Claire comes in with the quick res onto Samurai, and it's like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work. They make it work. Dep finds kills on that Widowmaker. I'm glad we talked about this guy because he's really starting to show up now. This map is pretty good for him so far. Control, it's always a little bit shoddy for a Widowmaker, but you get to King's Row, you get to the hybrids, the escorts, and onto the assaults, and suddenly these Widows turn on. That's exactly what Cyclops Athlete Gaming are able to do. They recover in moments where I think a lot of teams wouldn't have been able to recover. That's something that you've mentioned quite a lot this evening. And then that last play by Samurai,
I mean,
counter
wow.
shatter right into Blank Esports. Just caught with their pants down.
This guy's
like,
played. He's played against Blank before, so have Anakin. I feel like right now, this is...
They gotta feel good.
Yeah, this must be so satisfying for them, and Sabagod as well. This has got to be so satisfying. A real kind of take that, right? A team that was able to so consistently, let's not beat about the bush, dumpster any squad that these guys were playing on in the past. And then you see Samurai to make a play like that. That has got to be a great feeling, and I tell you what, it makes for great Overwatch.
And on top of that, look, Claire was on receiving.
I've never felt like such a football commentator, by the way. Tell you what, it's good football. Just makes for good games, you know? It's a great match of footy.
And the other thing is, Claire was on the receiving end of the loss in Sydney in 2017 as well, so right now it's a bit of vengeance for him. Don't want to speak too soon. I gotta ask, when,
yeah, never
when he gets raised, when is it acceptable to start getting excited about the Cyclops Athlete Gaming squad? Maybe if they go 2-0 up, but they have work to do just yet.
I mean, personally, I've been excited. Again. Personally, I've been excited about this matchup like since we saw the schedule. But you're right. When is the appropriate time to get excited about what Cyclops Athlete Gaming might be able to do? Certainly, in terms of the gameplay we've seen, I think it's fair to say you can get excited now. Results notwithstanding, they've shown the capability, the capacity. There is nothing accidental about this. This is just very good gameplay. That being said, they do still need to convert it into those wins before we can truly get in behind CAG here.
And you can't underestimate Blank. Again, a playoffs caliber squad, even to this day. You're expecting Blank to make that top 4. I mean, it would be an upset if they did. It would be an upset if Blank lost this match today, if they even lose this map and they go 0-2. So for Blank, they're still holding on. The game is still possible.
Oh, Ken Mohororo is indeed going to go down there. I really like that setup there by Cyclops Athlete Gaming, kind of going for the slow wraparound, getting pressure on the point. Blank had to spend a lot of time repositioning before they could actually start fighting back. Now that that's said and done, though, they have been able to successfully fight back, despite a couple of good kills there by Depp. Unfortunately, Cyclops Athlete don't have enough members, at least for the time being. However, yeah, he's got respawns, and Depp's kept the pressure on. I still don't know if they're going to have the numbers here, though.
Well, they should do, because Blank is still trying to respawn right now and regroup with their team. CKM's been pushed all the way behind the point now for CAG. Depp's about to come back into action. This Tire has to do a lot of work, or Blank may just have to see this point.
And it's really only the Tire they've got to rely on for now, at least until who gets the self-destructing tongue gets that transcendent. CKM, they've already spotted the Tire head on its way out. They probably know roughly where it's coming from. Dead. Oh, straight onto Anakin, but yeah, CKM is dead in that time. So the trade you're having to take, especially when Depp is now right in the thick of your backline with the Dragon Blade out, they just have to pull right back and lick their wounds. This gives Cyclops Athlete Gaming some space to work with. Let's see what they do with it.
Still ultimates available, double support ultimates on Blank, about to be double support
ultimates. Oh, what a shatter
as well.
Nice charge in straight on top of Trill, able to just get right in behind the Orisa shield to land that one down. Second incredible Earth Shatter from Samurai so far on King's Row. Off the back of that, Cyclops Athlete Gaming going to have no trouble cleaning up this point.
You've been visited by Samurai, smasher of good Australians, and right now, look, it's been two fantastic fatty shatters right there. Fatty hammers straight on top of Blank. And the cap has been opened up, my friend. Grab on its way.
I'm your friend?
Not quite. Yes, you are.
Ah.
At least for now.
Tell you what, you're on thin ice, buddy.
We are still waiting for Anakin to build up that Dragon Strike, right? Because that's the combo opportunity. The other thing you have to consider right now, like, they need to get some of these ultimates back online. Here it comes.
I was going to say, I don't even think they need that, just with how few ultimates that are available here for Blank. And we've seen Ken Mohororo more than happy to throw grabs in with no combo potential. He had 100 charge going into that. Every time that's been the case, he's had 100 charge and thrown in a grab. He's got 2 of the kills himself. That's already going to swing the fight in your favor.
And the momentum continues shifting. Well, we're not shifting, right? The momentum continues going for CAG. Blank swapping heroes once again. Where's Blank?
Trill's already dead. God. Oh no, they didn't even get close. Wow. When can you start getting excited about CAG? 2-0 up now against Pacific Titans Blank. If you're not excited already, I think it is fair to say you can get excited. You're about to have like a 5-minute break to go and cool down, just chill out for a moment before coming back and getting even more excited to maybe even watch this team close out a win for their debut. But I mean, wow. I feel like what we're seeing here in this play of the game is so endemic of what this team has done so far. The playmaking potential here is phenomenal. I got to touch on it so briefly there. They don't need combos. They can do them if they want, but they've never needed them. They're always finding opportunities. They're so aware of every advantage they have. They're so aware of every opportunity they have, and they absolutely go for it 100%. It's really been disarming Blank so far.
It certainly has, and that's 2-0. I don't think we want to get this far. I think once we got to King's Row, maybe Blank start turning it around. I do want to give Blank a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. This was going to be Blank's perhaps toughest match opening in their other tough matches, Hong Kong Attitude in week 5. But in week 1, first of all, we talk about the fact that Blank start slow. Their week 1 games are not really that good based on history.
The week 1 game is the week 1.
The other thing is CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming is not a bad team. They are very good from what we can tell. Based on history, Blank have had really rough week 1 games off of, unfortunately, low-tier teams like One Shine, like Detonator Gold back in the day, and they nearly, or at least they gave opportunities to the other team to maybe win those. You don't get to do that against CAG. You don't get to do that versus a team that is this good. The third factor is, unfortunately, because, well, maybe fortunately, we are also online. That means Blank are playing from Australia, so a couple of disadvantages there. Maybe they can come back. We'll have to see. Gonna go to a short break, but when we return, Pacific Giants, CAG, and Blank Esports duke it out on the final 2 maps.